Hey everyone, welcome to Sorted with Sumit, where we sort out your life one video at a time. In my previous video, I spoke about how moving abroad can absolutely revolutionize your financial future. But today I answer the question, how does it affect my career? Well, to give you the context, I moved from India to Singapore at the age of 23. And having changed my geography, I can tell you that my career has reached levels that I never thought was possible in India. And let me dive deeper into the reasons why moving abroad can unlock immense potential for your career as well. The first and the most important reason why you will unlock massive career growth by moving abroad is the international exposure. When you move abroad to countries like Singapore, or maybe countries like the US or cities like Dubai, you get to experience working with people from all over the world. You are no longer stuck within the Indian work culture. Definitely, you will still get exposure to Indians because Indians are doing really, really well in terms of their technical abilities, in terms of their project management skills. So, Indians are there in most of the good companies around the world. But you get exposure to working with people from all over the world. For instance, I work in a company which is into fintech. Now I get to work with people from China, from Japan, from Australia, from Korea, from the US, from the UK, from Lebanon, from all over the world. And it's so exciting to work with people from all over the world because you get to experience different work cultures. Now you might imagine, how does it affect me in the long run? Well, it does. Because eventually, as you move up the career ladder, it's not necessary that you will always interact with people from the same country. For example, if you have always worked in India, you understand the nuances and the culture of working in India. But imagine if your manager at some point or somebody higher up is from a different country, it would be very, very hard for you to relate with him if you were never exposed to that culture. But having worked with people from France and Japan, I know the customs, the culture, maybe even a little bit of the language, which really helps to build that trust with people from all over the world. And it keeps things very exciting. You get to learn small things which can go a long way when you have international clients, right? For example, if you ever start a business at some point in the future, and hopefully you will try to grow your business internationally, having all these context and having all these nuances in your mind really, really helps. It's actually going to always give you a lot of dividends in the long run. Second thing is that if you ever have intentions to apply to foreign universities, for instance, if you want to go for your MBA at some point, international experience matters a lot. Specifically for universities like INSEAD and Harvard, they really, really value people with international exposure and international experience because that tells you that, okay, this person is really good at understanding the context and the nuances of working with different people from different cultures. And that is a very critical, especially in a multinational corporation setting. So this is one skill that you will learn once you move abroad. And I think that exposure, that experience is absolutely priceless. And that brings me to the second point, which is you get to experience amazing work culture and you get to experience work-life balance. Well, abroad, specifically in countries like Singapore, I can tell you that the work culture is definitely a whole lot better than work culture in India. I'll give you the reason why. Recently, I saw a video where one guy posted on Instagram that in India, he had to almost beg for his leaves. But in Singapore, where he is working in now, he has said that he never has to ask the permission to take the leave, but rather he just applies and that's it. He can take his leave. That was a massive change of work culture that I experienced. In India, when I was working, I also experienced these issues, and that left a lot to be desired. And that made me apply abroad, and I moved abroad. And I can tell you that it's a fact that the work culture abroad in developed countries is very, very good. And over the long run, because your career is not going to be for like 2 years or 3 years, you're going to have a career for like 30 years. Imagine if the work culture is good, how much more fun and how much more exciting your journey will be for the next 30 years. It will help you build better habits. You can spend some time on your hobbies, on your family, with your family, and that itself is extremely motivating. And if all of these basic things in life are sorted, right, then your career itself will grow as well, because you get that motivation and that energy to continue. So that work culture, that amazing work culture, and always, I have always seen that my manager has always asked everyone in the team that work life balance is very important. So I want to ensure that everybody is taking regular breaks. It's amazing. It's honestly amazing. The kind of feedback that we get, the kind of help that we get abroad. I did not experience that in 9 months of working in India. It's not to say that every company in India is bad. That is definitely not true. But the work culture in India is very, very tough. It's very competitive to the point where it does not help anyone. People kind of feel drained and exploited, which is not good. So, definitely, the work culture, the average work culture across the companies abroad is definitely far better than that of India. And you get to experience that. And once you get used to that, you will try to enforce and expect the same out of other companies, right? And that becomes like the benchmark. The work life balance, good work culture becomes like a benchmark that everyone tries to maintain, because their reputation is at stake. They want to attract the best talent. So, therefore, they try very, very hard to maintain a very good working culture in the company. And that brings me to the third important point. Once you have this international exposure, this international experience, you have an amazing work culture and work life balance. What does it allow you to do? It allows you to have that motivation to take more ownership. In India, we have this idea that freshers should not be given important work. Freshers can make mistakes, and mistakes are frowned upon. But abroad, people are more independent. And it is expected that once you join an organization as a fresher, you'll be given training for the initial month or two. But the idea is to become as independent as possible and as quickly as possible. Companies actually encourage young people, young freshers, to make mistakes and learn from it. It's like building a software, right? It's not going to be perfect on the first try, but you have an iterative approach and you build on top of all your previous work, and sooner or later you have the final product. The same idea goes for any professional. Nobody starts off as a fresher knowing everything, and definitely people are going to make mistakes, but the work culture is so much better here that actually mistakes are not frowned upon, but rather you are encouraged to understand and learn from those mistakes. That helps you to boost your confidence, because having overcome all these challenges one by one, you actually become a very seasoned professional very quickly. The learning curve might be steep, but the atmosphere, the people, the culture actually enables you to ride that learning curve and become a more seasoned professional much quicker. I can tell you for a fact that I started my career journey in 2021. Today, this is December of 2025, and within the last 4 years, it feels like I have learned so much more, and I have taken up so much more responsibility, and I've gotten that exposure a lot more than I possibly could have had I not moved abroad. The only reason why I have built up that confidence and that exposure and that ability to handle different workload, different clients, right, is only because I was able to move abroad, work with people from different cultures. I made my set of mistakes. I learned from them. I was given that opportunity. And here I am, 4 years later, much more confident, much more comfortable in my own skin, and much more dependable as a seasoned professional in the fintech space. And as I said, from my experience, another crucial point is that when you take up more ownership, when you build your confidence, what does it allow you to do? It also allows you to unlock different opportunities. Well, if you are struggling at one level and you're not able to rise from there, you won't really be exposed to new opportunities. But as you go up the career ladder, as you are as you are given access to different projects on a horizontal level. Another great benefit of taking up more ownership and riding up that learning curve quickly is that you are exposed to different opportunities that maybe in India would have taken you 10, 15 years to get exposed to. But because you become a seasoned professional much more quickly, you become more independent much quicker, you are able to explore different opportunities in your company. That itself should make your career growth a lot faster than it would have in India. And that brings me to the fifth point. What happens when you are talking to people from Japan, from France, from Singapore, from China, from Australia, from the US? What happens? Well, the simple answer is you unlock a crucial skill that is absolutely important for any sector in life, for any field in life, for any industry, and that is communication. because you are able to express yourself in different formats, in different contexts, in different settings, specifically in an international language like English, your communication skills improved massively. And that is very, very important. No matter where you go, English is kind of considered as the standard language. And if you're able to become more fluent in it, if you're able to become more comfortable in it, right, you are able to put forth your points to a much greater audience with much ease. As you rise up the ladder, you'll notice that most of the seniors in any organization, the main job is to engage in revenue generation activities for your company. And the most crucial skills in sales or marketing is communication. So now that you have worked with people from all over the world, right? Different languages, different dialects, different accents, you have understood how to deal with people, right? How to talk to people. What does it do? It actually boosts the most crucial skill in any organization, in any industry for that matter, and that is your communication skill. When you have exposure to so many different people from so many different parts of the world, you actually understand, okay, maybe I can crack this joke to lighten up the room, right? To lighten up the atmosphere. Maybe I understand this story. Maybe I'm aware of this news article and I understand the nuances while talking to people from this particular country. It actually makes you quite endearing to different people from all over the world. This itself is very, very valuable. As I said, a lot of these international universities value people with international exposure because they know for a fact that such people who have international exposure are very good communicators. And that in the long run, throughout your 30 or 20, 30 years of your career, is going to pay immense dividends. And you're always going to thank yourself that I'm glad that I was able to develop these skills when I was young. To this point, your people management skills also improve, right? Imagine if you're working with people from different countries, not all cultures are going to be the same. Some things in some cultures are offensive, while some things in some cultures are seen very important in terms of the respect that you give. For instance, if you're talking to somebody from Japan, adding that san after the name shows respect. These skills that you learn are also very, very important. And maybe in India, you wouldn't be exposed to all these different small nuances. But if you get that international exposure, you will never feel out of place when talking to people from all over the world. That brings me to the final point of why moving abroad can actually unlock massive career growth for you. And that is you get the recognition that you deserve. In India, the people who get into the workforce at the same time is quite large, right? And the spirit is a lot more competitive to the point where it does not help anyone. But abroad, good people are given the recognition that they deserve. If you are somebody who is independent, hardworking, diligent, you bring forth nice ideas, new ideas, novel ideas, which help the organization or your client, you will definitely be recognized for that. That healthy culture, which relates to the strong and beautiful work culture that I mentioned, is extremely, extremely nice for young people. Imagine you're starting out your career, you are quite smart, quite hardworking, but maybe you're not getting that recognition because you are competing with so many people and it's a very toxic environment, right? And it's not the fault of your manager or your higher ups. They are also within that environment, right? But if they were able to experience a good work life balance, a good work culture, they would also propagate that to their stream members, to their team members. And that actually compounds, right? That toxicity will always compound, but a good work culture will also compound. And in a good, healthy working atmosphere, specifically in companies and in the developed world, it's very, very good, right? And it really helps you to have that motivation and to excel in your career. So all of these points should tell you that why moving abroad can be extremely beneficial. It can help you to unlock massive career growth. And if you can do this in your early 20s, it will only compound and it will grow exponentially throughout your career, specifically within your most productive years, which will be between 30 to 45, right? That is like the peak career because you become seasoned, right? You are experienced. And because you have developed all these skills, you have acquired all these skills, imagine the compounding effect of all these skills. So moving abroad and joining an international company in an MNC setting is going to be very, very helpful for you in the long run. And that brings us to the end of the episode. I hope I was able to answer the question why moving abroad can absolutely be fantastic for your career growth. I have started this YouTube channel focusing on young Indians in terms of sorting out their career, their financial problems, and also the life issues that they are about to experience. If you like other videos in my channel, please consider subscribing. I will be immensely motivated if you continue with Sorted with Sumit, where we sort out your life one video at a time. Thank you.